Today's show is sponsored by our friends at orcacoolers.com. And from now until the end of the year, January 1st, it's the end of year clearance. Sort page with leftover 75 quart coolers, bundles, Walker soft sides, hammered chasers, etc. 12/15 is the last day to ship for Christmas, but you can always get 15% off your order if you go to www.orcacoolers.com/bourbon. orcacoolers.com/bourbon, and you'll get 15% off your order. Today's show is also sponsored by our friends at Get Picks. Now, we're working with them. They're not just our friends. We are embedded. I have Friday calls with them as we're going over all of the new development and we're going over how the app is changing. There's so many cool things with the app, and the thing that I'm finding is the more tastings you put in, the more you get out of the app at the end of the day. It's going to give you recommendations. It's going to tell you people you match with. And coming soon, December 10th, there's going to be Picks Packs. You can get a whole sample thing. It's a trio of different sample packs, so there's 3 whiskeys in every pack, and you can get them and try things out and figure out what you like and don't like. There's theme packs. Pay attention. You can sign up and get more information about Picks Packs. Go to pickshop.com. That is pickshop.com. Get the app if you have an Apple phone. It is not out for Android yet, but we're working on it. Make sure you download it on the App Store. Make sure you sign up to figure out about Picks Packs. They're coming, and if you have any feedback, let me know. I am talking directly with the people. I'm talking about what we actually need to do to make the app better and make the experience better for you. So reach out to me. I want to hear. Cheers, y'all. Zeke Baker, what you got for me?
I mean, this is a bit of a soft lob for you because
I'm normally shit at the soft lobs. I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's a bit on the spectrum of something you give me shit about plenty of times anyway. But I heard something somewhere recently. Whatever your favorite movie is when you're 13 is your favorite movie for life.
Oh, 100%. I could see that.
Obviously, you know me and my movies, and I don't really branch out much once I get set in stone here. I think 13 might be a little young, but by 18 to 22, I definitely pull the trigger. I'm out.
How old were you when you saw Big Lebowski?
Oh, I don't. I mean, I got big into it in college, but there was a lot of other stuff going on as well. Sorry, Mom.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Edwards. With me, as always, is Zeke Baker, and together we make the Dad Drinking Bourbon. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, thank you for making us a part of your day. I figured that was a good stopping place. Obviously, we know Top Gun is my favorite movie of all time, and that is because every single day I watched it multiple times from kindergarten. It's safe to say this now, but my parents had the black box, and my dad was a cop, and we still had the black box, and I had a taped version of Top Gun off of Showtime. I don't know how the hell my parents let me watch Top Gun at such a young age. Maybe they knew, maybe they didn't know the language, but there was a plane full of rubber dog shit coming out of Hong Kong. There were some memorable lines in that movie, and I was watching that movie as a young kid, and I watched it every day over and over and over, and obviously it was my favorite movie.
I mean, I did see Beverly Hills Cop around age 6.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, buddy.
What's your favorite movie then? I mean, is it Big Lebowski or is it something else?
I struggle. I hate absolutes just because I'm can you always have just one that's always the top? I mean, I could probably jot down around 5. Lebowski's in there. Beverly Hills Cop's in there. It's kind of hard to think of off the fly as well, but there's obviously just the go-tos that you think of or you reference that you just want to see for forever. I remember as a little kid, I loved Weird Science. I'd probably put that in there just because I've seen it so many damn times. I haven't watched it in forever, but it's one of those things you're you know what? One more time ain't gonna hurt.
Weird Science, and what's the one Val Kilmer was in?
He got to play some epic people.
Real Genius.
I wasn't going there, though.
He did one called Real Genius that was really good. At the end of the movie, they basically took a big magnifying glass to the headmaster's house and put all popcorn inside his house and had the magnifying glass take the rays of the sun and basically have popcorn go all in his house. It was a great movie.
I don't think I've ever seen that, Edwards.
Yeah. Anyways, we're cleaning out the closet. And so today we are drinking the Jack Daniel's twice barreled special release American Single Malt Whiskey finished in Oloroso Sherry Casks. I know you didn't know all of this based off of what I wrote off of your sample. So Zeke is going to be learning some new stuff along with all of you. For the first time in its storied history, the Jack Daniel Distillery is introducing a 100% malted barley grain bill with the new Jack Daniel's twice barreled special release American Single Malt finished in Oloroso Sherry Casks. So this is, last year they had the holiday rye. This year it is an American Single Malt Whiskey finished in Oloroso Sherry Casks. So this is their holiday release for this year. The 2022 limited edition special release features American Single Malt Whiskey twice barreled and bottled straight from the sherry casks at 105.7 to 107.8 proof. Jack Daniel's twice barreled special release American Single Malt begins with 100% malted barley that is ground, fermented, and distilled in Lynchburg, Tennessee. It passes through the traditional charcoal mellowing process and then is matured in new charred white American oak barrels for at least 4 years. It is then finished for an additional 2 years in the finest quality Spanish Oloroso sherry casks from the Antonio Paez Lobato Cooperage before bottling at cask proof. So Chris Fletcher says our special release series highlights our ongoing innovations and exceptional whiskeys from the Jack Daniel Distillery, and I'm excited to share this expression as our team set out to craft an American single malt that's uniquely Jack Daniel's. The twice barreled special release American Single Malt will be available nationwide in limited quantities at $70 for a 700 milliliter size. What did you think about this whiskey, Zeke Baker?
Well, and I'll read all these. Nothing I changed once you gave me the backstory, but I will say upon the first couple of tastes of this, all my sample bottle says is JD single malt. And I don't drink a ton of those, but I've had enough to where I'm like, this doesn't taste quite like the single malt I was expecting or thinking of. Like, what else is going on here? But regardless, my notes on this one, I thought the front end, it reminded me of soured fruit some. I came up with it would possibly be a blend if you're making like a cocktail with root beer and Jaeger. Third note I listed was that it was very tart with sugars up under it. As far as the back end, I honestly thought it reminded me of blackberries. I couldn't tell you the last time I had like a blackberry off a vine. I think that's about what it tastes like. Shit, I don't really know. I don't remember too well. But overall, it was definitely an oak with a tart type fruit blended profile. And literally the last note that I wrote was some quote unquote off wine, as in like an off profile wine that I wasn't really familiar with, which I don't drink much wine, so that doesn't take much either.
I'm going to give you the quickest review I've ever given you in my whole entire life. Chocolate covered raisins. This whole thing just tastes like chocolate covered raisins to me all throughout. And I really, really like this one.
What kind of chocolate? Like Raisinets or something else?
Yeah, like milk chocolate with raisins.
I didn't get the milk chocolate out of this. I can see the raisin because there's some kind of like fruit that's like a raisin would be, a grape past its prime. So it's got the sour and the tart elements to it and those kind of things.
Oh, it's 100% a raisin.
Milk chocolate, I think it's too sweet.
I got chocolate covered raisins.
What do you think about the root beer with Jaeger?
Root beer with Jaeger is kind of a nice way of putting it too. But I mean, chocolate covered.
You could agree with it or not. I mean, I don't know if the last time I had it or if I've ever had it.
I'm sorry if I got a cough in there, but I, for one, have never had root beer with Jaeger. It sounds like this is how we have to spend the weekend.
I figured that's how you got the cough, thinking about what it would be.
It certainly wasn't good. I can't drink Jaeger anymore. It reminds me too much of my 21st birthday. But what are you at the end of the day on the, like, let's talk for a little bit so we don't do like a 2-minute show. I really love the holiday releases at Jack. I love everything Jack is doing, the Tennessee tasters that are coming through, the holiday releases that are coming through. They are really innovating and finally showing off all the innovation that's going on at Jack Daniel's. Cheers to them. Cheers to Chris. Cheers to Jeff that came before him. Like, they're really starting to show just everything that's going on there. That's awesome.
I like it. It is very unique. The fact they said uniquely Jack Daniel's, that part I would probably take exception with.
Oh, it does not have a Jack. I mean,
like when you read that part of the press release, I'm like, it's from Jack and it is extremely unique. But to say it's uniquely JD, I think anyone in the world, because I mean, what brand has possibly a more loyal following than Jack? But this is not the Jack profile. It's one of those things where I think a lot of diehards would buy it thinking that, all right, well, it's a single malt, but they may or may not know what it is, depending on where they are and where they buy Jack Daniels. They may not even notice the smaller print saying Oloroso finish or even have a clue what the hell Oloroso is. I think a lot of people buy Jack blindly because they bought it for how many years and, whatever person in the family above them bought it, yada, yada. It's the long-standing product. And I think it would just be such a curve to them. I mean, half of them may spit out the first taste, like, what the hell is this?
This ain't no JD number 7.
And it's not to say that, like, it's a spit-worthy product or a drain pour or something. That I hope you pick up the type of person I'm stereotyping and how this would go down.
Well, I think it's uniquely Jack Daniels as it's the first American single malt finished in Oloroso Sherry Casks to come out of Jack Daniels. So if there is going to be a profile for the American single malt Jack Daniels, hey, this is setting the bar. So I guess it's uniquely Jack Daniels.
Well, that's where I wonder too is, so obviously they've been tinkering with single malts to some degree, probably a larger degree, because I don't know of any other label or brand that's had a bigger jump in innovation and new product releases in the past 2 to 3 years that I can think of off the top of my head. So then you wonder if they come back and do a single malt that's finished in something else or just not finished. It's, comes out of the barrels they originally went into. How far is the deviation on the profile going to be? I mean, you drink more American single malts than I do, but I've had a few. And like I said earlier, when I first sipped this, I'm like, I at least had some type of profile in my mind, and this was nowhere near it for what I've had off of American single malts.
So I'm about to say a word that we're not allowed to say. Let's just throw it out there, right? The difference between this American single malt and other American single malts is it's smooth. And I know we're not supposed to talk about it. And I know that's a thing that, if you think about other American single malts, it kind of has like that scotchy, malty, the finish. The way the finish really is on them, what I'm talking about, where there's a little bit of roughness and maybe a little craftness to the American single malt that is out there because some of those distilleries are newer and they kind of have like that craftier feel to them. And
then also think of, I love Stranahan's. I've been a pretty big fan of when we've had it. What's the one that starts with a W? They've sent us stuff in the past.
Westland.
Yeah, they've got some pretty good stuff in their family of products as well.
But I think it's like when Jack is involved here, it's like, okay, we really know how to make whiskey well. And I'm not saying the other people don't know how to make whiskey well, but it's like Jack has been making whiskey for so many years that it just is like it goes down easy. Maybe it's the finishing on it, maybe it's whatever, but it's just a really easy sipper.
Well, does this still get the Lincoln County process?
It does.
Okay, because that would lend to your thoughts there, right?
Yeah.
I guess my bigger question, though, does the fact it's a Jack product help or hurt it more based on the perception of what people buying this are going to have in their mind?
I think the good thing about this is it's the holiday one, right? So everybody kind of looks at it like it's the holiday release, and it's a little bit of R&D for them too. If everybody loses their shit over this release, it's like, oh, well, maybe we got to do something more with single malt. And if they don't, it's like, okay, great. It was a great holiday release.
Or what if, dad or granddad breaks this out when the whole family's there for Christmas? It's the Jack holiday release, guys. Let's all have a pour. They all spray each other because they were expecting to taste Jack. And again, this is not a bad product, but I think the stereotypical Jack drinker, again, hey, come on, it's holidays. We're all here for Christmas. I got this bottle I've been wanting to crack for a few weeks. Let's all gather around and have it together. And they're all like, ooh, what? Like, did you ruin Christmas, man?
But I'm all in. This is $70 too. They put their holiday releases at $70. Like, are you kidding me? Come on. Like, I know in totality it's 6 years with the 4 years and the 2 years finished. Like, I get it. But like, this is crazy good for $70.
Yeah. Again, I don't have a problem with it at all. I enjoy it. I just kind of, from the, like I say, R&D aspect or, the consumer psych type aspect, you got to wonder, like, how many of the traditional Jack people that love JD and have drank it for forever are also going to love this because it's further off the curve than a lot of stuff they've done. I would say the furthest that I can think of.
Yeah. But it's like if they have this out there, what else are they going to have out there? And I can't wait to see what else is coming down the line at Jack. So thank you to the folks at Jack Daniels for sending us this sample. We can't wait to see what else you have up your sleeves, Chris and Lexi and all the folks over there. I do have one that was just sent to me. It's a Tennessee taster that was picked by Goose and Randall. So I'm going to get you a sample of that and we could talk about that one. So, because Goose is about to retire.
Yeah, did you not get your letter about that or the email?
No, I did. And they're doing the calendar, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. I'm getting one next week.
Heck yeah. Get two. Go ahead and find us on Facebook at Dad's Drinking Bourbon, Twitter at Bourbon Dads, Instagram at Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Please leave us an open and honest review, just like we leave open and honest reviews about the whiskey we drink. Zeke, where else can the folks find us?
Good old Nashville, Tennessee.
Cheers.
Ciao.